This is a session, a pretend session. We're doing a demonstration on ACT therapy. This is my friend. He will pretend to be Joe. And I am pretending to be a therapist. So this is a demonstration of ACT therapy. Okay, so hi Joe.
Hey.
How's everything since the last time we talked?
Well, has been kind of. I've been more aware of what's going on.
Okay, that's good.
And the things that are affecting me. I realized that I'm living my parents' wishes, and I'm not like satisfied, and because I'm working for them all the time and maintaining them, and this is not what I like.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I like to do.
How does it make you feel when you think of those kinds of thoughts, that you're maintaining them, you're doing things for them? How does that make you feel?
Well, in a way, I don't know if they are aware or not, if they learned that from my grandparents, from their own parents. It's something that I don't know if they realize it, because probably they did the same from their grandparents.
No, I know. I get that you think. I know we talked a little bit about
so
that.
it's that,
But how do you feel?
I don't know if to feel upset or to reveal, or I don't know. I have to like. I'm thinking like in going around, but I have issues in my house too, because it's affecting my personal life.
Right.
Because I have my wife that is not working. Mm-hmm. She's staying at home. She's isolated, and I think, well, she could like do something for herself too. Mm-hmm. So now, well, I'm realizing that I living for my parents, but now my life is codependent.
We talked about that a little bit. Let's just recap a little bit of last week of what we talked about, and then maybe we can focus in on something. Because last week you told me that you were feeling really sort of like a bomb, like a ticking time bomb, like you know any minute you're gonna explode. And then you also said that you were very like wanting to run away, right? Do I have that right? Did I miss anything on that?
No. Yes, because it's like I have pressure everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, and I cannot find myself in here. It's like I'm not happy.
Right.
I don't have joy. I don't have anything. It's like I'm not doing what I like to do. I don't feel any emotional reward in what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But yes, I would like to like run away, but I cannot run away.
I totally understand. I get you, but when you say I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, your mind is handing you that you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're unhappy. What else are your thoughts telling you?
It's time to find my way. It's because
and what does that
I'm going
mean?
to explode. It's like this is not what I was thinking. It's like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I don't like, what's happening. I don't like the results. I don't feel satisfied, and I need the change.
Okay, so when you say you're doing what you're supposed to do, where did you get that idea?
Because it's what my parents told me.
Okay.
And you're supposed to do this, you are supposed to do that.
Right.
Do everything by the book, but actually I'm realizing that this is not me. It's like, okay, let's do it or whatever. It sounds good, it sounds safe, but nothing. It's like...
So let me ask you a little bit. What did you do before you went into your family business? I know you run your family business and you take care of your parents now as well as your wife, but what did you do before? Your family, yeah.
Well, I was always concerned about my parents. I was studying. I didn't have much vacations or friends and stuff. I was always with the family,
So let me ask you. A question. What would happen if you didn't continue to do the things that your family wants, run the business? What would happen with that?
I marriage. No, I like the marriage.
Okay, but what
So,
would happen if you were to say, you know what? I don't want to. I mean, it sounds like you. It sounds to me like you're pressured into. You feel pressured right now. You said that you feel pressured. You said you feel like you're doing things for others. What would happen if you decided to do something for
I
yourself?
will be looking into some other kind of business
No, but
with
what would
some
happen?
other.
What were you afraid of that would happen if you said, "I'm gonna do what I like"?
When I'm afraid,
Yeah.
rejection from my parents.
Very good.
That I betrayed them.
Wow. Okay.
So that's.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like betray, you know, because they trust me,
Right.
you know, and now I left them by themselves.
So what we could really say is that when I look at it, and tell me if I've got this right. So you know, you felt pressure to get into the family business, take over the family business, take care of your parents. And then what happens when you think about doing your own thing, what happens is that you feel like you're going to disappoint everybody, right? Like you're gonna let everybody down.
Yeah, it's more that the disappointment is like betray, because that's what I feel. I feel like only because they did everything for me to do that, and at the end, I didn't like it, and you know, they sort of trust me, you know, and now things are not working out.
Right. So you would feel, would you say that your feelings would be like about guilt?
Yeah.
If you did it, about shame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilt.
Guilt and shame. Yeah. Disappointment. Would it be disappointment?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm glad we got to those feelings and thoughts, because those are the kinds of things that, you know, seem to have you, on sort of like on different sides of, you know, I want to take care of my parents. I want to take care of my business. I want to have a wife. But at the same time, I feel like a pressure cooker. I'm gonna explode.
Yeah, because I'm pleasing everybody, and that's what I do.
Right. That's good. That's good that you realize that. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit. I don't know. Just let's take a deep breath and sort of get really into this moment. And if you would imagine yourself as the driver of a bus, right? So we can imagine you driving a bus, and you have a route, right? And you know your route, and you know that you have to stop at each route, and you have to let people on, right? Could you imagine that? That you're the bus driver, you have a route, and then you know that there's going to be stops along the way, and that people are going to get on and people are going to get off, right? So imagine that you're in that job, and that you're driving that bus, and that you've got these stops, and you know that people are going to get on and people are going to get off, but you're still driving the bus, and you still have your stops.
Yeah.
Right? So do you think that as a bus driver, put yourself in that position. You know, imagine what a bus driver feels like. They have all kinds of people get on the bus, right? All kinds of people with all kinds of attitudes, people that play music, people that are nice, people that are not so nice, right? But he still has to drive the bus, you know? You're still driving the bus. You're still stopping at the stops you have, right? Whatever happens, regardless. That's something that in ACT we call a metaphor. And that metaphor really tells us that, you know, you're the driver of your life.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Yeah. And you have stops, and you have people on your bus, right? Your parents, your wife, your employees at your company. You have all these people on your bus, but let's imagine that you could just still keep driving the bus and just let them be. You know, like a bus driver does. Lets the person be, really. You know, just sits there, and if they want to be nice, then they're nice. If they're not, you know, it still goes. Can you imagine that, as letting somebody just be there? Like your parents, for example. Could your parents just be on the bus without you having to, buy into those thoughts of like, I'm going to explode, I want to run away from them?
Yeah. Well, what I have to do is actually just, of course, I can have them, but I will have to change the certain things.
Okay.
You know, like the pressures, what they're demanding from me. Maybe they can get it somewhere else. You know.
Yeah, you know that I'm glad you talked about that change, because here's what I wanted to ask you: what part of what in life really takes you away from pressures? I know you have a degree in geology, right? You told me that you have a bachelor's degree in geology and that you liked to go hiking and biking and mountain biking and things like that. We talked about when we first met. So am I getting that right? That you love nature, that you love to get out there, and that you have a degree in geology is a very different thing than your video company, correct?
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about that degree.
Well, I like learn about earthquakes.
Oh wow, cool.
A lot.
Uh-huh.
And because I always like that part of tectonic plates and everything and what's going on and and I always like to be on the field and to see what the technology is and where the next earthquake is going to be and what's going to happen with the land, because I have seen some constructions that they don't have good foundations and they're on a hill made out of sand, and whenever there's going to be an earthquake, everything's
that's your main. So I remember.
That's what I think during the day when I see everything.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So do you think that maybe, you told me a little bit about that when you first met your wife, you used to go out on a lot of hiking trips and a lot of, sort of earth vacations. Yeah. So is that something that we could say is something that you really, really gets you passionate?
Yeah.
Gets you, in a good state of mind?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The reason that I bring that up, because with ACT, remember we went over it a little bit in our first section, we tried to figure out what are the things that really matter to you. And it sounds to me like nature, being in nature, matters to you a lot, right? It's one of your big values as we talk about it now. So I'm wondering, because I know what happened, and update me about this, but last time we talked, your wife was getting ready to maybe think about divorce. I know you had a big fight, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what do you think, how could we create something, there where maybe you can, because I know you said, you put everything on hold and everybody's on hold waiting to see if there's anything, that you can get out of the mindset. Like if you can start seeing that your mind is handing you these thoughts about running away. So we put that on hold for a little bit. So what would it be like for you to tap into that love of nature that you have, and then maybe include your wife in it in the next couple of, days, over the next week or so?
Well, what I would like is actually, instead of resolving my parents' situation regarding work and all the stuff and their income and everything, I would like to spend that time with my relationship.
Okay, good. So can you do something like that involves nature with your wife in the next week or so? Maybe maybe start talking a little bit.
Yes, and it's not so much involving her into the things I like. It's like to push her to develop what she likes, so she doesn't stay at home and all the stuff, and so we can have more things to share.
Okay, I think you know what, I think that's a good thing to think about in terms of we talked about it and you decided that maybe couples counseling would be good, but I'm thinking, I don't know, what I guess where I'm going with this is that we know that your love is, one of your values is nature, and that's one of the ways that you connected with your wife, and I'm wondering, what could you do in the next couple of weeks that might help you connect with her through nature? Is there anywhere you can go, anything you can do, anything you can plan?
Yes, there are a lot of things. I always wanted to go to the Bahamas to scuba diving.
Oh, that's nice.
And I went to go, I haven't been to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
And spend a week there, just going around.
Camping?
Yeah, camping.
That's a nice one.
Never been there. So.
Okay, so let's, could you do that? Is that something you can come home to your wife tonight and talk about it, maybe make a little plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, well, good. Here's what we talked about in the beginning of last week, that you wanted a goal for this week, right? We talked about that you wanted to sort of diffuse a little bit, and you did that a lot. You came to the session today, and you seemed to be, understanding that the thoughts that you first came with, I want to blow up, I want to run away, those are all things that your mind was telling